You read the title of this video, and I bet 99% of y'all already know what I'm going to be talking about. So if you're not interested in this part of the video, skip to this timestamp. But for the 1% who don't, let me catch you up to speed. Not too long ago, someone posted a tweet saying that a domain for a Persona 4 remake had been registered. If you don't know what a domain is, it's basically a company claiming a name for a website, usually as a placeholder for something they plan to announce later. On top of that, Persona 4's main vocalist, hopefully I'm saying this right, but if I'm not, let me know in the comments, Shihoko Kurata mentioned that she'd been recording music for a brand new game in the same studio where they recorded Persona 5 Strikers. So, with all that being said, it looks like we're definitely getting a Persona 4 remake. Now that you're caught up, let's get into it. Hello YouTube. So, with all these leaks coming out, it seems more and more likely that a Persona 4 remake is definitely happening. And naturally, people are very divided on this. Some are saying it's been way too long since Persona 4 got any real kind of update, so it needs a remake. Others argue that Persona 4 already does everything it needs to do, so a remake is just unnecessary. And personally, I'm part of the latter half of this situation. I already hear the comments. So, today I'm going to be breaking down why Persona 4 does not need a remake. But before we get into it, spoiler warning ahead, I might not be diving into anything major, but just in case, if you don't want any spoilers, go play the game first and then come back, because this video is worth a watch. With all that being said, let's dive in. Now, I think we can all agree that there are at least 4 titles that should come out before Alice even thinks about touching a Persona 4 remake. Those are Shin Megami Tensei Persona, aka Persona 1, Persona 2 An Eternal Punishment, Persona 2 Innocent Sin, and for the love of God, Persona 6. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about the first 3 games, but from what I've heard and seen, these games desperately need an update. Not just visually, but mechanically. Because, let's be real.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
This is what I've heard, so if you have your own opinions, let me know, but what people say is the battle system feels old and clunky, the encounter rate for shadows is ridiculously high, and XP distribution is terrible. Now, do I think Alice or P Studios will ever touch these games again? Honestly, probably not. The original development teams are long gone at this point, and unlike Persona 3 Reload, they don't have a bunch of assets they can just reuse to make the process easier. But still, if they're talking about games that actually need a remake, those should come way before Persona 4. And then there's Persona 6. I mean, come on, it's been almost a decade since we've gotten a new Persona game. Yeah, you could say Metaphor ReFantazio dropped last year, and it's basically a glorified Persona game, just without the underage girls. New battle mechanics, but Metaphor doesn't give off the same feeling that Persona does. With Persona, it's a little more relatable. You're following a group of students who have everyday struggles on top of the insane supernatural stuff they get dragged into. It's that balance between reality and fiction that makes Persona special, at least to me. So, before we even think about a Persona 4 remake, Atlus needs to focus on these games first. Now, let's talk about Persona 4 itself. This game already does everything it needs to do. Yeah, sure, a graphical update wouldn't hurt, at all, because let's be real, this isn't exactly what I'd call pretty. But honestly, that's never been a huge deal for me. A slight touch up on the battle mechanics to make the experience better or smoother would be nice, but beyond that, they already have everything else down to a T. There's no need to redo the characters or their arcs, because their development, interactions, and personal struggles are what make Persona 4 so memorable to me, at least. Messing with that would just be unnecessary. And for the story, it ties up everything perfectly, so there's no reason to change anything there either. Now, if there's one thing I'd like to see change, I said this before in another video, but towards the end of the game, they tell us about the confrontation between Adachi and Dojima instead of actually showing it. That always felt like a missed opportunity to me, so if they were to do it, show us, that would be nice. And before anyone says it, I know, I didn't play Mary's Dungeon, but if I really wanted to, I could just load up Golden and play it there instead of playing through this game all over again and hear this in my ears 24/7. Now, at the end of the day, would I be mad at a Persona 4 remake? Yes and no. I get it. There are a lot of diehard P4 fans who have been waiting for an update for years, and honestly, a remake would be such an easy moneymaker for Atlas considering how much demand there is for it. It'd be stupid for them not to make it, and Atlas knows they got me on a tight fucking grip, so you know I'm gonna purchase that $70 game anyways. But if you asked me what I'd prefer, a remake of one of the older titles or Persona 6, yeah, I'm picking those every single day of the week. Persona 4 is still fresh in my mind, even 6 months down the line, since it was the last Persona game that I played. So I'd rather it not be the first one I replay. And if it does happen, a Persona 4 remake before we get any of those that I just named, oh well. With that being said, thank you guys for watching, comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments, would you want a Persona 4 remake, or do you think Atlas should focus on something else first? With all that being said, noches.